Cynthia Nixon is an actress. I think she ran for governor of New York too. Cynthia Nixon's an actress. And she has just come out at some rally and made the claim that not only is her child trans, the child she has with her quote unquote wife, but her nieces or nephews are trans. And actually her children's friends are trans. And well, she can explain the pattern.
I am here today as the mother of a proud trans man. I am here today as the aunt of a proud trans man. My best friend's kid is trans, and my kid's best friend is trans. My wife and I, our lives are filled with the most amazing, beautiful, brave trans people, young and old, but especially young. And the idea that this city is filled with young people who thought they had a place to go where they could receive the highest care, and that place has now been shut to them, sickens me to my core.
It sickens her that now the people have elected politicians who don't want to trans the kids because, don't you know, every kid she knows is trans. Her kid is trans. Her kid's friends are trans. Her family members' kids are trans. All the kids are trans. What a coincidence, huh? What are the odds? What's in the water at the Nixon household? I did the math, and I'm being very conservative with my numbers here. Because she says, you know, my children or my nieces or my friends or so. She could be talking about 10 kids. But let's just say it's 4. Let's just say it's 1 kid for her, 2 kids for her sister or her friend or whatever, and 1 friend of the kids. Let's just leave it at that. It seems that she's implying it's more kids, but let's be really conservative. And let's also be really generous and say 1% of the population is trans or identifies as trans because trans isn't real. That means that there is a 1 in 100 million chance of Cynthia Nixon knowing all these so-called trans kids. The odds are 1 in 100 million. But actually, the odds are a lot better than that. If trans identity is not a real, natural thing, but is rather a social contagion and an ideology into which kids have been indoctrinated in recent years by people like Cynthia Nixon. What do you think? Is it just the craziest coincidence ever that upends our understanding of human nature? Or is this a social contagion and child abuse? I know what most Americans think because I know what the election results were in November. Right now, go to netsuite.com/Knowles. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts, you'll get 10 answers. Bull market, bear market, inflation's up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 41,000 businesses have found a way to future-proof their operations with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP. Imagine having your accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all seamlessly integrated into one fluid platform. That's NetSuite. With this unified business management suite, you are not just juggling numbers, you're wielding a powerful tool that gives you the visibility and control to make quick, informed decisions. It's like having a map in a maze of market uncertainties. Real-time insight and forecasting? Check. It's like peering into the future with actionable data at your fingertips. Here's a game changer. You'll be closing your books in days, not weeks. That means less time drowning in paperwork and more time focusing on what truly matters, steering your business towards success. At the Daily Wire, we're proud to partner with NetSuite because they are leading the way in future-proofing operations for businesses around the world. Whether your company is earning millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars, NetSuite adapts to your needs, helping your immediate challenges and helping you to seize the biggest opportunities. Speaking of opportunity, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Knowles. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Knowles, Canada-BLES. That's netsuite.com/Knowles. Vox.com, a left-wing outlet, noticed something recently. Noticed that President Trump is attacking his opponents in a rather different way than Republicans traditionally have. Vox.com pointed out, after canceling $400 million in federal grants for Columbia University last week, Trump officials sent a letter demanding the school make sweeping changes to its policies and governance or risk losing the rest of its federal money. And the basis for Trump's threat was civil rights law. Christopher Caldwell has a very good piece in Compact magazine right now on this shift, that Republicans for years have been running against the political machine, the weapon of civil rights law that the Democrats have used to crush their enemies for 60 years now. And the argument that Republicans had been making is that civil rights law creates a kind of parallel constitution, and then it violates the text and tradition of the Constitution consistently, and it's only ever used. It's got this nice sounding sales pitch, we're defending civil rights, but it's only ever used by the left to crush the right. Chris Caldwell wrote an excellent book on that, The Age of Entitlement. But what Vox.com is noticing, what Caldwell's noticing, what a number of people are noticing right now, is that Trump has flipped the script. He's not just running against civil rights law. Civil rights law, which is a misnomer because it actually diminishes or outright denies the legitimate rights of most people. Trump is using it. This regime that the left installed in the 1960s to give itself nearly limitless power, Trump is now using that himself. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's galaxy brain stuff, okay? It's like tired, wired, inspired. Tired is wield the civil rights regime for leftism. That's tired. We don't like that. Inspired is dismantle the civil rights regime, which is never going to happen. Inspired is wield the civil rights regime for the right, for the good stuff, for the common good, for the American tradition. That's what Trump does. More evidence of it's occurring to me. It didn't even occur to me when I was putting the show script together last night. This is even more evidence of the distinguishing feature of the Trump era of the last 10 years, which is this shift away from procedural norms towards substantive goods. Trump is a realistic person. Trump has a good political gut. He is not some ideologue. He's not a utopian. He sees the country as it is, and he's going to make the most of what he can with what he has. Trump is looking and he says, okay, how does our law really work? If he were an ideologue, he'd say, well, it works like Schoolhouse Rock with a bill up on Capitol Hill, and this is how the government should work, and the way that it actually does work in practice is a perversion of that, of the great vision of our founding fathers, and that's why we need to completely ignore the bureaucracy. No. Trump looks at it, he says, okay, I don't know about Schoolhouse Rock. I don't remember my civics class. What I do know is how the government actually works, because I have been a media mogul businessman for 40 years, 50 years maybe. And I've dealt with these politicians, and I've bought them off, and I've gotten things done, and I've built buildings, and I've testified before Congress, and I know how the government actually works. And the way our government actually works is largely through the civil rights law regime, the parallel constitution. Okay, well, if that's how the government actually works, and I want to do stuff with the government, I just got elected to run the government in a good way, I guess I got to deal with that. Okay, well, I guess that means I'm going to use that regime to stop the nonsense at Columbia. I'm going to use that regime to punish my opponents, the people who are enemies of the common good of America. I guess I'm just going to deal in reality. That's the thesis of the Trump administration. Is it any wonder that he has been a much more effective Republican than, well, I guess pretty much any in our lifetime? Certainly in my lifetime. I'm really glad you liked that clip. What you can do now is ring the bell right there and subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. And then you don't have to worry about looking for the new clips. You just get them. See you next time.